First of all, I hope that all of you are safe, sound, with your loved ones at home in these trying times. Never have we experienced this kind of a thing before, but I'm sure this is a passing phase. We will all pass through it, and successfully though. The only thing that it's doing is building character. Okay, so last week, some candidate I was coaching, a senior one, and he came and asked me what will happen, what about the jobs? Do you think the jobs in the market will remain? Do you think my job will remain? Do you think employers will still keep valuing me? See, these are very common concerns in this situation. I said, let me do one bit of live session with you and offer you tips where I will tell you just two things you have to focus on to get yourself a job under any circumstances or any situation. Let's talk about that. Let's first understand what's happening in the current situation. See, it's not that hiring is not happening. Hiring is happening even now. When you look at companies like Amazon, and we know all that, the healthcare, the pharma, agriculture, all these companies are hiring even now. So that's one set of companies. The second set is people who are in the travel or hospitality, airlines, tourism industry, events, conferences, seminars. These are the companies which are really finding it very, very difficult because of the pandemic. The third kind of set is where companies are yet to come to grasp with the situation. They're still finding their feet because, things have changed so dramatically. The mode of working has changed to work from home. So what do you do? So these are the three kinds of companies or industry status, if I may call it, which is currently prevailing. What will happen? My prediction or my experience says that there are three things that will happen after this when the companies start opening up their jobs, or even for that matter, even now, their expectation will change. So the skills that are required will undergo a tremendous amount of change. That's one. Second, when it comes to besides the skills, you also as a candidate will face a lot of competition from other candidates because the number of jobs will reduce, but the candidates will increase. So that's the second. Third, salaries will undergo a change in terms of their composition. What will happen is that companies will offer more of variable as compared to what they were offering earlier. Rightfully so, today's situation is such that there are so many uncertainties that companies will say that, okay, I can give you this kind of a thing as fixed amount and rest will be all variable linked to your performance, and you got to prove yourself. This is what will happen. So first of all, as a job seeker, what do you do? Because we cannot control the situation, we cannot control the circumstances, like in life, in anything. But as a job seeker, you can first of all make peace with the situation. Difficult, I know, but that's the status. So you got to make peace, accept the situation, and then work your plan. This will pass, that's for sure. It's a part of life, I would say. But at the same time, it's going to change the game completely. But what does all this mean for you as a job seeker? What is it that you can do which will ensure that irrespective of whatever is happening, because these things will happen, you will also need to take action? What can you do? The topic for today, what I chose, I'm giving you two things to do. One, reinvent your entire job search strategy completely. And second, learn how to market your candidature, your talent. Very, very critical. These two things, if you do, you will see this phase through successfully as a job seeker. I can assure you, you can get a job, provided you do these two things. So reinvention of job search, what does it mean? First of all, it means that you need to change your entire mindset. You got to think like a CEO. You got to think like a business owner. Your career is your business. Take complete responsibility of your career now. What would a CEO or a business owner do under these circumstances? So this career is your business. You are the CEO of your own career, or the business of your own career, business head of your own career. First, take onus of that and arrive at who you are. Like they say, now, know thyself. So you got to actually list down all your skills, not only the domain skills, but also the transferable skills, because these are the skills that are going to become very, very important. Skills like learning, adaptability, flexibility, working under stressful situations, working in a team, communication, maturity, patience. These are all qualities which were possibly not so much in demand, but they will become in demand like huge, because you will be expected to perform in uncertain times. So make a list. I'm giving you a game plan. Make a list of all your skills. We wouldn't have done it maybe for a long time, but you make a full list. On the left-hand side, write down all your skills, the domain skills and your transferable skills. On the right-hand side of the page, write down 3 stories of success against each of these skills. Each of these skills have to be demonstrated that you can achieve results. Make as exhaustive a list as possible. Write stories of success with measurable outcomes. If you do that, what will happen is that from the skill set, wherever you've been able to demonstrate stories of success, you will be in a position to identify those skills which are your strengths. See, because everybody will not be strong in every area, but it's very important that you know yourself. Who are you as a brand? Then only you can position yourself in the market. So this exercise, changing your mindset, thinking like a CEO, and making a skill set list with stories to back it up is important. That's the first. The second step. The second thing that you need to do is learn to market yourself. Means you have to market your candidature, your talent. Without that, just imagine if there is so much of competition, and if you're not marketing yourself, how would you get a job? Now, how do you? I'll give you 10 things that you need to do to market yourself. 1, first of all, make a target list of employers. Very, very important. Most people do not do that. So list down 10 to 20 target employers. These are companies which you might aspire to join, or maybe they could be companies from within your industry who you know are having a vacancy. But a list is very important because you need to know who you are targeting. That's number 1. Second, your core area of expertise. What is it? Like from the exercise, what I mentioned to you, you need to identify that this is what I'm good at. These are my skills. This is my area of expertise. That is your brand. You need to know that. Because if the recruiter doesn't know who you are and what's your area of expertise, it doesn't make sense. You've lost the game. Third, transferable skills. I really emphasize a lot on this because I know that for a fact, if you have transferable skills clearly spelled out and you're making use of them, they are in need right now. The market needs it. The employer needs it. What you need to do is ensure that all your transferable skills, you are up with it. As I mentioned to you, the learning ability, adaptability, flexibility, so on and so forth, all these skills will become more and more important besides your domain skills. So in positioning yourself, these skills will play a very important role. I'm giving you tools to market yourself. This is like raw data. Fourth, research. I can't emphasize enough. Believe me, research is something which is my favorite, and I recommend whenever I coach that you have to do research which is out of the box. You cannot do research just by going on Google, searching online, searching just on the website of the company. You got to do real-time research with real people. So customers, vendors, agencies, call centers, market feedback, besides the company page, besides LinkedIn company page, all these things. Also talking through references to employees of that prospective employer company. You need to really understand the company and the job very well. You got to become a strong guy who can identify the business pain points, because that is what you will be hired for. You are a solution provider. You are not your candidature. You are a solution provider. So do research which is in-depth and completely out of the box. Fifth, very important, LinkedIn profile and the LinkedIn platform. Today, 90% of the recruiters are using LinkedIn. And if you're not there on LinkedIn in the right way, on both fronts, by way of having a profile and networking, you've lost the battle. You've really lost out. Your summary should not be in terms of just maybe statement of facts. It has to be your brand positioning, your individuality. Who are you? How do you stand out? What do people say about you? It should be human. It should be identifying with you, not just a copy paste of words. Extremely critical. So have your LinkedIn profile ready. Sixth, networking. Very important to network. And today, with the way the situation is, LinkedIn is one of the finest mediums to network. Now, what does networking mean? Many times when I tell people, they say, yeah, I have a lot of connections. Connections have no value by themselves. Just by having connections doesn't make sense. So they say, okay, if not connections, then I send connections to prospective employers, HR, etc. And just the moment it is accepted, I just send my resume to them. That's not networking. Don't apply at the first instance. You got to build relations. Networking is for relation building. Very important that you build your relations. First, identify who are the people. Identify within the organization people who can refer you to some people who know, because this is all part of the research. I'm recommending doing networking for the purpose of doing research and understanding the business pain point. Very, very essential. Once you understand the business pain point, only then you become a solution provider, and that is what your candidature is all about. So do networking, first add value, and then you got to develop that relation, ask for questions, ask to understand, create an impression, and then you come to the thing of maybe applying for a job. It's a process. Just like in a bank, you just can't keep on withdrawing. You have to first deposit and then withdraw. Similarly, that's what networking and relationship building is. Very, very critical. Seventh is the customized resume. The general resume, frankly, will not get you the results. You have to customize your resume. When I say customize, means your skill sets, your domain skills, your transferable skills have to be identified according to the industry that you're applying for. And today, believe you me, what's going to happen is that you will have to widen your job search by using the transferable skills, because you will have to move to allied industries, different kinds of industries, or maybe related roles. So if you are in a hotel industry and want to move to the banking industry in sales, what does the banking industry require? You will have to identify those skills and tailor-make your resume accordingly. Very, very important, because that's part of your brand identification. So customize your resume. 8, customize pitch letter. A general pitch letter is a complete no-no. You have to ensure that you've done your research, your homework on the basis of all the networking that you did, and your achievements pertaining to that particular job, industry, or domain have to be the part of the pitch letter, a crisp pitch letter, talking to them about you being the solution provider, a person who has identified what your problem is. Then it attracts me as a recruiter. It doesn't attract me just by saying that I've got 17 years experience, I'm the top performer. It doesn't make sense at all. Tell me what you can do for me. That's what the pitch letter is all about. So devise a pitch letter which is customized. After that, the 9th step is a follow-up. Now, most people do not do the follow-up after they have applied. I'm saying use a 1-minute elevator pitch and apply and follow up. Follow up. You have to follow up in terms of, again, calling up the hiring manager or being connected with the hiring manager. But the focus of the follow-up has to be only on the value that you get, and as a reminder that you can solve the problem. Not that I had sent my application, what happened, I have not heard from you. No. The common thread throughout this process of a job search strategy is that you need to be the solution provider, a pain identifier. Once you do that, you are bound to get a response from the recruiter. And last, the 10th point is interview preparation. Prepare for the interview. Very, very important. And today the game has changed. So interviews are going to be over Zoom and telephone. And believe you me, Earlier, it would be assessment calls. Now it's no longer assessment calls. It's a two-way communication on Zoom, a video call, a telephone. So you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared as a face-to-face. See, one is not used to it, or sometimes you take it very lightly that, okay, don't do that. In fact, I recently wrote a post on what are the 10 things that you need to do when attending telephone or video interviews. You may want to read it. In fact, there was a funny incident that somebody took it very lightly. He wore his shirt and all that, but below he had shorts, and in between he had to get up to take his pen or something. Not that you can't wear shorts at home, but now interview is serious business. And in this pandemic, we are going to be interviewing a lot over video and telephone, and perhaps working from home for a very, very long time. So we got to change our mindset accordingly. Do that. So these are the 10 things that you will need to do to ensure that you are way ahead of the race as a candidate. Extremely important. See, whatever the job situation outside, but you as a candidate can take charge. And this is the right time. People will hire. The only thing, as I told you, just to remind you, competition is going to increase. And one last tip I would like to give you, that salaries are going to undergo a change in terms of composition, because rightfully so, today the demand for performers is going to increase. So company will say, you perform and you earn more. I don't mind it. But so if you are not mentally accepting this change of salary composition, you're going to be up against the wall. See, whether we like it or no, it's affected everybody. So let's be aware of what the reality is. Important for you to understand this, because normally people feel, oh, salary, do I have to take a salary cut? It's not a question of cut. Depends on what the role is. Don't lose focus of the role. Don't miss the woods for the trees. Go for the role, but on salary, be open to what the companies are today doing, because every company is yet to find a solution as to what is to be done in terms of their bottom line, the financials, etc. So they will come back to you with a package which might initially surprise you, and don't say no to that if the role is good. Look at you, don't lose sight, because this will happen, and this is the new normal, as they call it, or this is the game has changed. So it's better we accept it and then move ahead. So on salary, please be open. Once you have this clarity, I can assure you that you will stand out as a candidate. I again say that hiring will happen, hiring is happening, but if you as a candidate don't take action on these two things, one is reinventing your job search, and second is marketing your candidature, you will not find the jobs that you have. Thank you very much. I'm really appreciative of your time that you've given, and I hope you've enjoyed my tips. If you want to send in any emails, you can send it to Pallavi and me. We will, in a link, give you the email ID of Pallavi as well as myself, that is Sarabjeet, and we will be happy to answer your questions. All the best, stay safe, and I can assure you, you will get the jobs that you fear you will not if you do these things. All the best.